405. Hey, Corey, snap out of it, dude. Thursday afternoon, 2 big hours coming your way. Holy smokes. A lot of stuff going on. 4 major topics today. NOPD throwing 75 cops on the street starting Sunday. We'll fill you in on that. The Mayor LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, one of her nonprofits, putting finances on hold as the IG requests via subpoena now financial records from the mayor's fund, these nonprofits she has on the side. If everything's cool, it shouldn't be a problem. Give the IG the records. Everything's right. I mean, I don't know. If you're the mayor of a city and you've got nonprofits set up, these righteous nonprofits that are 100% set up for folks that need it, the needy, you're handing over your records gladly. You've got every I dotted, every T crossed. Folks are donating money. You're a nonprofit, or you're getting money from other sources like the Wisner Fund. A large tract of land down by Port Fourchon that the city of New Orleans owns, or I should say gets revenue from annually, every year, indefinitely. The mayor has moved north of $1 million from that Wisner Fund into the mayor's fund, her nonprofits. Hey, if it's all legit, you pass over the records to the IG, no problems. If it's not legit and there's some scam going on, that's exactly why the IG's there. At the very least, he might have suggestions on how the nonprofit can be more effective and efficient with their donations, at the very least, especially since it's city taxpayer money. Especially because it's city taxpayer money. At the very least that, I say it half joking, half seriously. And if any shenanigans are going on, he passes the baton on to law enforcement, his findings. The mayor's nonprofits, the mayor's fund, the finances are on hold as the IG subpoenas financial records. Today, the city council, speaking of the Wisner Foundation, today the city council asked a judge to allow them to control the Wisner Foundation finances. The council basically controls the finances of the city, not the mayor. And this Wisner Trust, the council wants it under a 7-member council arm, not the single mayor executive branch, especially when she pulled over $1 million from that fund in a year to her nonprofits, plural. LSU on probation for football, but all of it's self-imposed. A lot of the, they've been cooperating with the NCAA. They've taken the penalties already. They've self-imposed penalties. Hey, we're going to restrict this. We're not going to do that. We're not going to allow that. If this is how many you get, we're going to do this many, less. We're not going to go bowling if you remember a season or so ago where LSU put a self-imposed bowl ban. The NCAA, because they worked with it, first off, they're not saying they're like minor infractions, but they're also saying they're not like major screw-ups either. It's not institutional control lost. We'll find out more specifics in about 10 minutes when we go to Baton Rouge. Jacques Doucet, longtime sports anchor, reporter with WAFB Channel 9 in Baton Rouge up on Government Street. He'll join us in about 10 minutes, Tiger fans. Find out exactly what all that means. Some folks out in the East, they're kind of like, enough's enough. 17 years post-Katrina, and there are so many areas of the East that are just totally 110% forgotten. Like they're not part of the city. It's almost third world in some parts of the East. Out on Almonaster, heading towards like the old Six Flags site, Almonaster from, the eastern side of the Industrial Canal, basically by the Saints Fallberg Brewery, by Crescent Crown Distributors, that gigantic slab that was once what was that warehouse? McFrugal's or something like that? That Sidney Bartholomew landed for the city. It was supposed to be hundreds and hundreds, maybe even north of 1,000 jobs. I think it ended up being like 150, and then arson or something, how that warehouse isn't protected from fire. The whole thing burns to the ground. The slab's all that remains. You start at that point and head east on Almonaster. It is insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, they've recently paved it. It's a little smoother, but still, it could be wild hogs. They're wrecked automobiles, junkyard, cars, junkers stacked. I'm not kidding. 3-4 stories in the air. Crunched up concrete from streets, 2-3-4 stories in the air. I know it's sort of light industrial, whatever. It's insane is what it is. It really is. It's crazy. It's third world. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Fury's Restaurant tonight for dinner. What a great way to kind of jumpstart the weekend on a Thursday night. They're open till 9 p.m. You can roll into Fury's at 8:30 with your crew, and they're happy to have you. And you know what to do by now, right? Gumbo or turtle soup, onion rings, local, fresh seafood. You kind of get the idea what Fury's is all about. They're making the gumbo every day. They're making the turtle soup every day. Fresh local seafood. You order onion rings. They cut up the onion. They batter the onions. They fry the onions. Old school. So good. You will not be disappointed. And yeah, open till 9 p.m. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie. I never even mentioned the lunch specials and daily specials. Red beans, white beans, pork chops, all kind of good stuff. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. So much to cover. Can't wait to get Ed Michelle, the IG, on the program again soon. The IG subpoenaing the mayor's nonprofits for their financial records. When there's a subpoena, that means the request has been blown off, not followed up on. The IG's requesting this info and the mayor's not giving the info. And now because a judge got involved, the law, a subpoena, give the IG the info, the mayor's nonprofits have put their finances on hold. Today, the council, one of the funding agents of those nonprofits, the Wisner Foundation, the Wisner Trust, today the council's like, the mayor shouldn't control that, especially when she just dumped $1 million+ into her nonprofits. The IG's requesting financial records from those nonprofits and not getting them has to go to a judge. It's mind-boggling. The Cantrell administration having just very little understanding, or understanding it fully, I believe, and just being 110% belligerent about New Orleans Office of Inspector General requests that they are fully 110% legally allowed to request. Unbelievable. It really is crazy. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. LSU football on probation. What does it mean? Jacques Doucet from Baton Rouge, WAFB, joins next to explain.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms, with high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool side. NOLAC.com, your cool side.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port. When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled in Metairie.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond, including the capital city, Baton Rouge. You can check us out up there on Cox Channel 4 television each and every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30. Hey, Tiger fans, Baton Rouge folks, you can check us out at 600 a.m. starting at 4 p.m. on the radio if you're in your car and all that traffic. We're on YouTube, too, anywhere. That includes the capital city. Why am I bringing up Baton Rouge? Because we're all over South Louisiana, all over Louisiana, this program, but we're heading to Tiger Town, Government Street, right off the interstate, off the I-110. Jacques Doucet from WAFB Channel 9 joins us live. How you doing, Jacques?
Corey, I'm doing outstanding, but maybe not as good as you. You're on more billboards than anyone when I go down to Nolan. So you're living large there.
Nice, man. Thanks. Yeah, that big old monster head of mine. It scares people, I think.
Nah, man, it's all good. I send that to Scarborough every time I'm down there. Say, look, I know you two enjoy Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. Those two love to rip back and forth. So I tell them, look, man, Corey's doing big things down here. You got to step your game up.
Yeah,
So.
Mike's a trip. We text a little bit every now and then. He's got a great site, Tiger Recruiting and the like. Yeah, I like Mike Scarborough. He's funny. Hey, Jacques, we got to get this out of the way. It's our usual deal because we only visit so often. I was going to just lead into it. Hey, Fletcher Mackle joins us on the program. What's up, Fletch?
Dude, look, Winston threw those interceptions out. Look, Winston's interceptions were bad, okay? They were bad. But, look, Ingram's fumble, that ruined the whole game. So,
Fletch
I've done a whole lot of Fletcher Mackle, but that was my best. You brought me up on stage. So,
well, and I know you're not doing play-by-play anymore for LSU, but Jim, we understand you're doing some country albums. Tell us about Hawthorne and the Hawthorne Trio.
Well, Bob, first off, I'd like to say, Doug, why did Garrett Nussmeier throw the ball underhand to Southern? I do not understand it. Jim, he threw it right to the Jaguars. I know, Doug. I saw it. 1st and 10.
There you go. Jim's not a fan of that new country crap. He's
old school.
Bob, Conway, Twitty, and Elvis. I mean, those were the best ever. This new Florida, Georgia, Parish County line, that is garbage. Garbage, I think.
That's so good. I got to agree with you on that, Jim. All right, finally, it's the really scary last one. It's Corey talking to himself. Oh, no.
Let's go to Fred on the East Bank, home of not one single good restaurant. Hey, by the way, Drago's, the grilled oyster. It's the best single bite of food in New Orleans. Teddy on the cellular. Step on up, Teddy. Is that good?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, boy. Jacques Doucet's with us. Hey, Jacques, how long at WAFB Channel 9? Like 21. I started in March of 2001. Wow.
So, yeah, man. It's dream come true. I never left because I still get paid to go to sporting events and cover LSU and go see the Saints and make a difference, I feel like, and covering this stuff. So, yeah, it's been great. Been great.
No, you do make a difference, and you're known outside of Baton Rouge. LSU fans know who you are down here in New Orleans for sure. And what's interesting, Jacques, Steve Schneider's there, and he's the guy. He was there for a while. A lot of folks would say it's just a stepping stone, and you're going somewhere else because you've got to be the man over there exclusively, and everyone else is under you. And you and Steve have worked together marvelously for years.
Yeah, I think, we like to think that's what makes us unique. Steve's been there 40 years. I've been there 20, like we just talked about. You don't really find that in local TV anywhere, really.
Nope.
A combo like that. And, I think Steve views me as, not as equal. He's my boss, obviously, but he's never had a big ego and been threatened by his territory or any of that stuff. He's all about content and what we get on the air. So, we've worked together well for many, many years. He's been a great mentor, great boss. And I couldn't ask for a better boss, actually, so it's been great to work with him.
I spent some time at Channel 2 in the olden days, as I call it, with Ed Buggs and the Duke, John Mahaffey and Singleton. And it was Mike Rhodes, but Steve Schneider was at 9 back then when Mike Rhodes was at 2, and Steve Schneider had been at 9 for a while. I mean, I was at LSU and Steve Schneider was at 9, and we're on the Bluff covering Southern. I think Bruce lives up East now, but anyway. Yeah,
I saw Bruce Weber at a baseball game last spring. He came down. I think he was going to go. The Final Four was in New Orleans, right, this past year. So I think he was coming down to see Illinois. I forget, but I did see him at an LSU baseball game, and that was kind of like the Twilight Zone because I used to watch him growing up, and I watched Jordy Holberg and Steve Schneider and Andre Morrow and all the guys that did sports because you would catch Channel 9 on cable in Lafayette. And I never forget, I had no business being on the air when they hired me. I was really green and really inexperienced. I remember just sitting on the set with George Sells and Donna Britt and Mike Graham and kind of pinching myself like, am I really up here with the Beatles of local TV? It was, crazy stuff.
Yeah. Donna Britt was great. Hey, we're visiting with Jacques Doucet. What do you say, Jacques? I always ask you this. What do you say?
I got called both growing up. It didn't bother me either way. Vicki Zimmerman, my boss said, when she hired me, so how do you pronounce your name, kiddo? How do you say it? And I was like, well, I guess Doucet sounds better on TV. And then sure enough, I made the wrong choice because early Doucet rolled around a few years later. And, I was like, oh, man, I should have done that. But Early will tell you that we're distant cousins. So doesn't matter.
Hey, Jacques, under a normal day, when ESPN, one of the headlines is NCAA places LSU football on probation, you and I would have jumped on this right away, and I wouldn't have let you do these voices, and we wouldn't be having this chit chat for the last few minutes. But it's kind of different because they accept LSU's self-imposed penalties over these recruiting violations that have been in effect the last few years. The LSU's been working with the NCAA, so this isn't sort of the beginning. It's closer actually to the end. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I've been up doing a story in Gina today, but when I got that alert this morning, I kind of was expecting more than what it was. It seemed like it was tied heavily into James Craig, who was the offensive line coach on the 2019 team and everything. And I thought that the NCAA had said the things that LSU did not want to hear a while back, and that was lack of institutional control. They were marrying the football program to the basketball program with all the Hush Blackwell and Will Wade and all the kind of madness that was going on. But, today, a $5,000 fine, my God, that's a joke for a school like LSU. And then a 1 year probation. So you need to inform me. Does that mean they don't go to a bowl game this year, or what is that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. That's the $1 million question. Or did that self-imposed bowl ban during this cooperation period with the NCAA, is that where that counts? And
yeah, I didn't see postseason ban on there, so that's what I was kind of. I read through it. I know a lot of LSU fans. Hindsight's 20/20, but we could have sat out that Texas Bowl against Kansas State last year. That wasn't a whole lot of fun. So that would have been 2 years sitting out of a bowl game, and maybe we got to jump on this, but we'll have to see.
The key, I guess, is no lack of institutional control.
Yeah, you had all the the John Paul Funes deal and the money that was being directed from the Children's Hospital, right? It was all that stuff. I have to go back into my memory banks, but yeah, things were, LSU for a year or so just was going through just getting dragged through the mud on a national level between the sexual assault stuff and some of the other things going on. So, I've kind of forgotten about this to an extent, but knew that it was always looming out there, and they're going to have to, come to a decision of some kind. I know Matt McMahon, the new LSU head coach, has been working pretty steadfast and hadn't been thinking or talking about it, I think, for the most part. So, full speed ahead.
Hey, Jacques, what's the vibe with Kelly as coach? Maybe the exact elixir the program needed from an emotional, kind of ready, fire, aim, Mike Ditka type coach in Ed Ogeron to this more regimented, the process, consistency kind of guy in Kelly.
Well, I talked to a parent of a player today, and this is a kind of one quick way to sum it up, said, we wanted to meet with Coach Kelly, and we were told, we've got to set up a meeting. We got to call somebody and set up a meeting. And with Coach O, he just stand up on the balcony and just kind of yell at you, hey, come up here, come see me. That's kind of the difference, But to your point, I think it was, Coach O was an emotional man. He and that's what we loved about him to an extent. I think Coach Kelly is much more, okay, I got a checklist of things to do today. We just kept hearing ad nauseum about organization and attention to detail. And he's out there on the practice field with the tablet. He's writing down notes, and he's keeping track of everything. And so, very similar to Saban in the aspect of this guy from the up north, a little colder, not as warm as what we're maybe used to an extent, but I would argue, Corey, I mean, you're from New Orleans. I'm from Lafayette. Anybody that comes to Baton Rouge who is not from Baton Rouge is a bit of a fish out of water. I grew up in Lafayette, 1 hour away. It is nothing like Baton Rouge.
No, so, you're right. You're right.
So the whole fit talk, look, he had a big win against Mississippi State. I think he had to take over a badly damaged roster, and he's doing his best with it. I mean, they're taking in guys from Florida International and East Tennessee State, UL Lafayette. This recruiting class looks good. Let's check back at the end of next year or maybe in his third year. I think they'll be in position to challenge for something.
He's getting the most out of these guys. I mean, true freshmen starting all over the field, left tackle, right tackle, tight end. I mean, it's crazy. So, I like what he's doing so far. Hey, Jacques, before we let you go, how can folks, Tiger fans in New Orleans, check out your stuff on the web? Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jacques Doucet, JACQUES, DOUCT, WAFB.com, Facebook, WAFB, my Jacques Doucet Facebook page. We try to, share as much content as we can when we can. And so check us out. I appreciate you having me on today. I appreciate you joining us. Thanks, Jacques. That's Jacques joining us, WAFB Channel 9, Baton Rouge, LSU on probation for football. Corey Johnson with you, coming right back.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
stumped me again. I thought that extra instrument might help. I mean, it sounds like something obvious, but I don't think it is. Well, the obvious answer is who they're trying to sound like. I think, trying to sound like Dr. John kind of, or Neville Brothers or something. Oh, it's James Booker. There you go. I shouldn't say trying to sound like. There you go. I'm messing that up. You sound like James Booker. No, I thought it was like a newer, younger kind of crew trying to sound. All right. Nice. I'm getting stumped all the time. Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, a.k.a. the Heat Magnet on sunny days like this, pulling out some great New Orleans music as we go in and out of breaks. In the industry, we call it bumper music, or bump for short. Ugh. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. I think we knocked out a bunch of great trivia questions, huh? The Southport Hall. What was it originally? A casino, the building behind the Snow Wizard building. What was that? Someone said Audi. Someone said Porsche dealership. All that was good. What other ones? Katori Forest and City Park. I was trying to lure people like Alexandria on that one. I think isn't that in Alexandria? Part of the Kisatchie National Forest? Guys, no, dude, it's City Park. All right, you're right. Where is the Spanish Fort? Someone got that one. Allen Toussaint Boulevard by Bayou St. John. What was Sugar Park in the Bywater pre-Katrina, even post-Katrina? What was Sugar Park in the Bywater? What a strange name. What was that? Give me the answer to that. And I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. 766-9480. I got a couple of, since we had an Allen Toussaint Boulevard question with Spanish Fort, we'll kind of stay in that neck of the woods. And an old single movie theater is just a single movie theater, had one screen on Allen Toussaint Boulevard. And then there's another movie theater that had one screen and then split put a wall down the middle and made it a double, a twin cinema. That also was on Allen Toussaint Boulevard. Neither theater exists today on Allen Toussaint Boulevard. I'm looking for the old single movie theater. I guess kind of it was on the newer side of Allen Toussaint Boulevard. And then I'm looking for an older theater that was a single and then was converted to a double. And that was kind of on the older part of Allen Toussaint Boulevard. Give me the answer to either one of those questions or the Sugar Park Bywater question. And I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Hey, no intranet device, no Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Bing, none of that stuff. You either know the answer or you don't. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. 4 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. A 5th coming online soon. Mandeville. Yeah, you're right, Trey Yen folks. Trey Yen Country, Mandeville, getting their own Woodhouse Day Spa like in the next couple of months. They're getting it going right now. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon, brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. Where else can you get shish kebab in New Orleans at a restaurant? They got 4 different kinds: shrimp, beef, chicken, lamb. You can do a combo kebab if you like. Pick 2 of the 4. Shrimp, beef, chicken, lamb, shish kebab. You also get a couple of Middle Eastern sides on the side. Tough to beat Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the Streetcar Barn. It is a Thursday afternoon edition of the program. The NOPD chief, an additional 75 cops on the streets of New Orleans starting this Sunday. Now, this one's pretty easy. If you're pulling folks off of desk duty and that type of stuff, reassigning folks that maybe they aren't normally used to patrolling and the like. I mean, obviously, any cops that are paired up, you pair up a seasoned street cop with one of these guys, girls, or better yet, you find out the least crime area in the city and you put these cops there and you move the more seasoned cops to the high crime areas. So these 75 cops that are hitting the street, I don't know if the thought is let's disperse them throughout all districts or let's put them in the easiest districts and send those experienced street cops to the tougher places to patrol. Anyway, 75 more cops on the street starting Sunday. We'll have to get the chief on again. He joined us a couple of weeks ago on the program, NOPD Chief Ferguson, Sean Ferguson on the program, and find out more about this. The mayor's nonprofits putting their finances on hold as the Inspector General, City of New Orleans, doing his job, requesting financial records from the mayor and this mayor's fund, these nonprofits. Apparently that request was not met. The IG had to subpoena those financial records. And because a judge made it official via subpoena, and these nonprofits, the mayor's fund, has to give up these financial records, one, the mayor has put the finances on hold with those nonprofits, with the mayor's fund. And two, I would think you've got a lot of people working these funds, scrambling like crazy. Maybe, hey, give me a blue ink pen. I need a black ink pen. Date that this, do that, fill in the blanks, do this. I would think there's a lot of scrambling going on. I don't know. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but knowing the mayor, do you think the mayor with the mayor's fund, multiple nonprofits, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and they're well run and they're efficiently run? The mayor can't balance her own checkbook, has tax problems. We obviously know the mayor has a lot of trouble running the city, has no problem running up city finances, like spending $18,000 plus on first class airline seats. Insane. That's still mind boggling. But to think the mayor's nonprofits, plural, have their you-know-what together, and it's a tight ship, and transparency, and everything's right there for you to see. Here's the ledger. I would bet against that. Common sense, logic, the past, the present, this mayor, I would bet against that. And I think that's why when the IG requested the information, it never was sent to the IG. The IG never received it. Has to take the law into his hands and use the law and have a judge and have to subpoena the financial records of these nonprofits. And because that's happening, the you-know-what is hitting the fan, apparently. The mayor's putting the finances on hold while they get their you-know-what together, because they have to. They have to by law. Today, the council is asking a judge to let them, not the mayor, control the Wisner Trust. The council usually handles the financials of the city. The mayor has diverted north of $1 million from taxpayer money. That's the city's money. That's your money, my money, New Orleans' money. The mayor has taken north of $1 million from the Wisner Fund and put it into the mayor's fund, her group of nonprofits. Maybe it's all legit. Maybe there's some accounting snafu or someone messed up or, they shouldn't have been a subpoena. Here's all the records. Transparency will show it. All is fine. And the money was diverted straight to the needy causes. No single individuals profiting. No one with exorbitant salaries. Not too many employees. Not money getting diverted to this or that. All of it going where it's supposed to go. No problem. Chris Rock has a stand-up years ago, 20 years ago. I take care of my kids. I go to work every day. It's like, what do you want, a gold star, a pat on the back? You're supposed to take care of your kids. You're supposed to go to work. The mayor's supposed to hand over this stuff, and it's supposed to be transparency, and it's supposed to be a tight ship that it's a nonprofit. It's not supposed to have a bunch of employees or people getting paid exorbitant money, or we don't know where this money went. Where'd that money go? Who took that money? Why did this person get paid that money for services that weren't done? I mean, if that's the case, got major problems. But I can tell you this administration and other entities within the city, like the Orleans Parish Communications District, the IG requested information from them. They did not give it to the IG. Corey Johnson with you, coming right back.
Conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Laitram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on radio, on television, on the intranet. We're live on YouTube. We broadcast live every day from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. You need air conditioning help? Go with the honest experts that'll come right now. The pros at River City's Total Maintenance. 841-3300. 841-3300, or find them at nolaac.com. nolaac.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. No one really likes these kind of subjects because it's sort of a plus and a negative about Louisiana. I mean, I love festivals and parties and all that. We're great at that. We're terrible with the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 stuff. We kind of like fantasy land. We like believing what we want to believe, what we hope to believe. One could easily argue the beloved Sean Payton underachieved as head coach with the New Orleans Saints. Now, I don't think you're going to get that from too many of the local media members. But I think if we had more of an East Coast flavor of media down here, more some kind of hardened journalists, not like I want to be friends with the coach, but they're like, I don't care if I'm friends or not. I'm just doing my job. I think you'd get a different opinion. 15 years of Drew Brees not injured and one Super Bowl, one Hallis Trophy. Only one time in 15 years, Drew Brees and Sean Payton can say, we were the best team in the NFC. Only one time. That's the year they could say we're the best team in the NFL. There's not another year out of all those seasons where the Saints could say we were the best team in the NFC, much less the NFL. And that's crazy. Not having another Super Bowl trip, not having another Hallis Trophy on Airline Drive, on Benson Drive is crazy. So you can argue that all day. The day Sean Payton left the New Orleans Saints was the day he started talking about the next head coaching gig. And now it's starting to really take off because he's like 3 shows into his television career now. I mean, we're in September and it's already where's he going? And he is talking about, I'm ready to coach now, ready to coach next year. You know, it just depends on the team. A team that I have control. I believe in the ownership. They're going in the right direction. Everything he had in New Orleans. Now, this is the coach that tried to sell and was successful for a while, that Taysom Hill's the future at quarterback. And he knew that was just BS. My point is, he can sell a lot of BS. So I'll tell you this about Sean Payton. As far as I needed a break, that is 110% BS. Not when you jump right into TV, not when you're saying I'm ready to coach again. Something personal. I don't care to get into it, but that's what it boiled down to. That's what it boiled down to. Nothing about crime or crap like that, or, you know, I'm burned out or tired of New Orleans, or, I mean, they could have been tired of New Orleans for other reasons, but not Sean Payton necessarily. No, it's the needed a break is nonsense. And Saints fans, as it's gonna happen, the hate for Sean Payton is gonna take off like a rocket. I don't hate the coach. I'm just telling you exactly how I feel. I think a little overrated, but it's gonna go the opposite when he goes and coaches another NFL team, which is going to happen soon. Jeff Dorson joins us from the Humane Society of Louisiana. You can check them out online, humanela.org. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, Corey, I appreciate our Thursday afternoon chat about animals.
Yep.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yep. Kind of a sad story on the dog that got hit by the car. They ended up having to put that little guy down, from what I understand. Spinal injury.
Yeah, we're getting all sorts of issues. The heat index is rising, and people are still tying up their dogs. So we've had 2 fatalities from heat stroke in as many days. So
where were those, Jeff? Where were those?
One was East Baton Rouge, and I think the other one was Concordia. But, it's still the pet owners who are just not thinking clearly, thinks the animals can get along by themselves. Well, it's just a terrible situation.
Yeah, a dog is not an alarm for your house. You can't leave it in the yard, or worse, chained up or tied up outside and go to work all day. It just doesn't work that way.
Thank you. That's exactly what's happening yet again. And here we are, 2022, and we're having to do the same kind of education all over again. You're right. It's a living creature. You don't put them in a crate out in the direct sunlight and go to work.
Well, no, it is exactly idiots. It's that, and it's selfish, tight, cheap people. It's like the loser that's got the big old boat, $100,000 boat in the driveway at his house. Wow, you got a $100,000 boat and you can't pay the $200 a month to park it in a boat yard somewhere because it has the green cover on it 11 out of the 12 months of the year. No, and there are people that get dogs and don't do heartworm medicine, don't bring them to the vet. They think it's like a TV. Yeah, putting it into a crate in the sun and going to work all day, that's criminal, Jeff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we have something called our Emergency Veterinary Fund. Inevitably, every single weekend we get a call, an animal hit by a car or left or some horrible story. But luckily, we try our very best to answer every phone call and make ourselves available for emergencies on nights, weekends, and holidays. A lot of agencies shut down, but we know that there's a need, so best not. So every single weekend, Corey, and you can attest to this, we pretty much have to solve multiple emergencies around the state because the vets are open, but nobody can pay for it. So luckily, our donors have given to our emergency vet fund, and it's coming really handy. So if you feel inclined today after listening to this show, your money will go directly to emergency medical care as soon as you send it in to us.
And this happens all the time, almost every day. Yep. HumaneLA.org. They need your money. HumaneLA.org to take care of dogs and cats and kittens and puppies in need. That's what they're about. There's Blue Boy barking. What's that, Blue Boy? You love Jeff Dorson. He's a great man. And what? You love the Humane Society of Louisiana. Wait, one more thing, Jeff. HumaneLA.org. He even knows the website.
Good for him. But you taught him well, Corey.
Jeff, you're the best. Thanks, man.
Thanks, brother.
That's Jeff Dorson, HumaneLA.org. 5 o'clock powwow is next. Don't move.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
A thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A whirl little buddy, Rocky the Squirrel. What a great cartoon that was. And so many sub-cartoons within Rocky and Bullwinkle. Really smart. You can watch it with your kid if you're an adult and enjoy it. That's rare. And yes, today's kids will enjoy Rocky and Bullwinkle.
The show's about to start.
That's right.
Coming as fast as I can.
Okay. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Thursday afternoon, Crescent City. Thanks for checking us out. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Brought to you this afternoon by Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations. They opened up on the West Bank about almost a year ago. Stumpf at West Bank Expressway. They're in New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, Mandeville, Hammond. Plus free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. When it's time to paint, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. A legendary New Orleans business for over 50 years. New Orleanians that know Helm Paint and Decorating. One of those no-brainers. Yeah, you right. Thanks for finding us on the radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. We're on YouTube right now. Just go to YouTube, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe on our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a thing. Click to subscribe. Spread the word. Tell your friends about our YouTube channel. Share. Live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. You can email us, Corey, K-A-A-R-E. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. We're on TV from 4 to 5:30. That's right. Cox Channel 4 television all over Louisiana. Spectrum Channel 333 television all over Louisiana. The Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. A single movie theater, a standalone movie theater. Allen Toussaint Boulevard at West End. Ain't there no more? What was the name of that theater? Allen Toussaint Boulevard at West End. Give me the name of that theater. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Hey, down the street about, I don't know, I'd guess about 2.5 miles down Allen Toussaint. Another theater, and it was a single theater, a single screen theater as well. But then, and it was actually an older building, an older theater than the one at Allen Toussaint at West End. This was Allen Toussaint and Elysian Fields. And then they put a wall down the middle and turned it into a double when these, megaplexes started popping up. The big trend in the 70s was single theaters going to double theaters because built from the ground up fourplexes were opening, shopping malls. I remember the Plaza in New Orleans East had at least 4 theaters originally, and probably by the time it closed, they might have cut a wall, put a wall down the middle in one and made it 5 or 6. But that was the trend, multiple theaters. So this theater at Elysian Fields in Allen Toussaint went from a single to a double. And the one at Allen Toussaint in West End always remained a single, never became a twinplex. Give me the answer to either one of those Allen Toussaint Boulevard movie theater questions. And I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Sugar Park in the Bywater. What was that? Sugar Park in the Bywater. What was that? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours. 766-9480. 766-9480. LSU football put on probation, but no lack of institutional control. NCAA even saying, quote, not major infractions. And as far as I can tell, the self-imposed penalties that LSU self-administered, kind of covering it with the NCAA. Been working with the NCAA for the last few years on this, have imposed penalties on themselves, including a bowl ban one season. the football program is on probation. I think those self-imposed bans and restrictions will keep going with LSU football as long as LSU football had planned to do it. The NCAA is agreeing with LSU and how they're handling it. And I think they're still bowl eligible this year, postseason eligible, because it wasn't major infraction, because it wasn't a lack of institutional control. So it's a breaking story. It's a big story, but it's sort of, it isn't like it's the beginning of it. And boy, when are the penalties coming down? It's sort of the end of it. And the penalties have already been coming down, and the NCAA has accepted those penalties. So kind of different from breaking headlines, LSU football on probation. And, here's what we learned. And boy, it's going to be terrible the next few months. And when the LSU, the NCAA drops the bomb on LSU, they drop the bomb. And what the bomb is, hey, we agree with how LSU handled it. These self-imposed penalties, that's what we would do. That covers it. So sort of a non-event today for LSU. Today's the quote story, but the story really has been going on for the last few years with LSU cooperating with the NCAA. Big story of the day locally, NOPD chief Sean Ferguson says an additional 75 cops will be on the street starting this Sunday in New Orleans. 75 more cops walking the beat, patrolling in vehicles in Orleans Parish starting this Sunday. Now, I don't know if that means these 75, administrative type cops are going to just be spread out amongst all districts, or they're going to put them primarily in the least crime district and then put those seasoned cops from that least crime district to the more severe crime districts like 5th and 7th. 50% of all crime in New Orleans, violent crime in New Orleans, 50%, the 5th and 7th police districts, the 5th and 7th, 50% of the crime. You get control of that, and you can reduce New Orleans crime dramatically. Just that little area, those two little areas, focus in on that, and you reduce crime noticeably. Oh boy. Sean Payton wants back in the NFL. Talking about the right team, right ownership, a team that's committed to winning, all that. Everything he had with the Saints. He was the GM. He was the president. The buck stopped with him. He's one of the highest paid professional coaches in professional sports in the world. He's like 15th highest paid coach in the world with small market New Orleans Saints. He's like a Premier League soccer coach. Everything that you would want as an NFL coach, Sean Payton had 110% here in New Orleans. Full-blown control, autonomy, everything he wanted, huge salary like he's big market, all of it. And Sean Payton was coach up until last season, 2021. Saints won a Super Bowl after the 2009 season. Never won another NFC championship. In 15 years of Sean Payton, 15 seasons of a first ballot NFL Hall of Fame quarterback who was never injured. Now, it's safe to say, and I'm just giving you fodder now. I'm not an emotional person. I don't think Reggie Bush sucks after the Saints traded him. I'm just giving you fodder when Sean Payton takes that next NFL gig. You can kind of, feel good about it in the sense that we all love Sean Payton, what he did in New Orleans, but a little overrated as a coach in New Orleans. Terrible defenses for years. Won NFC championship one time, best in the NFC just once. That just seems kind of crazy. Now the coach is ready to coach again.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey in.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal: everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region, with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines. Agree, disagree? Love to hear from you. 504-766-9480. The listening audience would love your take as well. 504. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. What was Sugar Park in the Bywater? What was that? Business? A park? Sugar Park in Bywater. Give me the answer. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Also, the old single movie theater on Allen Toussaint Boulevard at West End. There was a second movie theater on Allen Toussaint, this at Allen Toussaint Boulevard in Elysian Fields. It was a single that turned into a double. Answer either one of those theater questions on Allen Toussaint Boulevard, and I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. The mayor's nonprofits have put their finances on hold. LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell and her mayor's fund has put the finances on hold. The Office of Inspector General asked the mayors, I should say, and those funds for financial records. They did not give the IG financial records. This isn't the first time that an office under the LaToya Cantrell administration has broken the law and ignored the IG. The IG is a CPA. And what's great about the IG, Bob Sarasoli, the original New Orleans IG, the IG of the Big Dig in Boston, legitimate dude, set it up right. Autonomy. It's not politically connected. It's not Democrat or Republican or black or white. It's there, and it has authority to review finances. The whole point of an IG is to see where city taxpayer money is being spent, how it's being spent. Is it being spent efficiently and effectively? And if not, here are suggestions how to make it more efficient and effectively. And then if there's some criminal activity going on, it can be passed on to law enforcement. But an IG is a great thing. I mean, I talk about this all the time. St. Tammany, 250,000 people, fastest growing parish, most money, most affluent, lots of public projects, roads and drainage, all kind of stuff. Taxpayer money being spent. You trust your politicians? I mean, then there's something wrong with you. And the beautiful part about an IG, this CPA, they find inefficiency quickly. And within the first year or two of the office being implemented, put into play, they find enough inefficiency that they save that money. It's usually something that would have been reoccurring, and the office is paid for indefinitely. And then all the other savings are just gravy from that point on. There's no downside to an IG, not when you have as large a parish as St. Tammany and the money there. No, it's great that New Orleans has it. McClintock and Jefferson would like the New Orleans rules and regulations. Jefferson Parish can manipulate that office, can take funds away, doesn't have the autonomy the New Orleans office has. Now, New Orleans is corrupt. It's broken. It's inefficient. Government's not well run. Everyone knows that. Only a fool or someone that's kind of a scam artist on the take themselves, someone who has friends or family connected to that crap, would be against an IG investigating the mayor's nonprofits, especially when a lot of it, all of it, or I should say a lot of it, taxpayer money, like over $1 million from this Wisner Trust, New Orleans citizens' taxpayer money going to the mayor's nonprofits. And then when the IG requests financial records, they're not given to the IG. He has to go to the judge to get those financial records via subpoena. It's ridiculous. No, the office, Orleans Parish Communications District, the potholes, Public Works, wouldn't give information the IG requested, had to request it via legal measures. The OPCD sued. They lost. They appealed, sued again. The IG has to hire an attorney to defend this. Costs taxpayers in New Orleans $60,000. And what did it cost the Orleans Parish Communications District? They finally, by law, have to give up the information, and then the obvious is revealed. Don't know what hands, just no plan, no organization, no goals, no objective, just winging it, flying by the seat of their pants every day. Nothing organized. The potholes, average time to fill a pothole in New Orleans, over 200 days. In America, it's a week or two. It's over 200 days because after the report, the IG discovered every day they wing it. There's no plan. There's no prerogative. This one's the latest one. Let's get the ones that are older first. It's when a politician calls, they go beeline out and fix that pothole. When enough pressure gets to them, they go fix a pothole. The rest of the time, just whenever they discover one, I guess. So the point is, when the IG legally requests info from a city entity, they're supposed to give it right away. And if they have their you-know-what together, the I's dotted, the T's crossed, they have nothing to hide. It's all about transparency. It's our money. But Mayor LaToya Cantrell, a few departments under her administration don't give up the information. The IG has to sue to get it or go to a judge to get it. Cost taxpayers money, waste of time, and then the truth comes out. And it's crappy for citizens. It's inefficiency in government, glaring. No, the mayor not giving the IG the financial records for her nonprofits. Public. It's nonprofit. It's public money. It's under the city of New Orleans because there's something to hide. They don't have their you-know-what together at the very least. And at the worst, criminal behavior going down. Today, the council asked a judge to let them, not the mayor, control the Wisner Trust. The mayor moved over $1 million from the Wisner Trust to her mayor's fund, these nonprofits. Look, if the needy are getting it and the IG gets the information, it's all proven to be really efficient. I's dotted, T's crossed, the needy getting the money. These are good nonprofits like it's supposed to be. That's not a congratulations. That's not a star or a pat on the back. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't get any credit for that. If it's how it's supposed to be, then all is fine. But if there's inefficiencies at the least, criminal behavior at the most, it changes things greatly. And who would think it's not that way? You request the info, you don't get it, you have to get it subpoenaed. Why is the mayor not giving the information that's being requested by a city entity that legally can request the information? No, because there's something to hide. Now, this isn't looking good for the mayor. Mayor might get her paycheck docked. Dock her pay to pay back the $29,000. Could be like $1,000 a month. Get paid every 2 weeks. Could be like $500 or more coming out of the mayor's check. No, that's how it should be. She needs to reimburse for the ridiculous first-class airline tickets. Insane. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. The NOPD putting 75 more cops on the street. Yeah, you right. Hey, television audience, we say adios until mañana. 4 to 5:30 weekdays, 90 minutes of fun. Cox Channel 4 Television, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and beyond. Spectrum Channel 333 Television, Slidell, Covington, Mandeville, Cheyenne Country, Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas, and beyond. TV all over Louisiana, 4 to 5:30. See you tomorrow. Radio audience, you folks checking us out on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We seamlessly continue until 6 o'clock. Look, I'm not anti-Sean Payton at all. But I mean, boy, the LSU fans with like Nick Saban, it's like Saban left LSU to pursue the NFL, something totally different. It didn't work out, and then just timing sucks. He goes to Alabama, and the rest is history. I don't like it. It's almost unnerving as an LSU fan. You're like, what? But that's just how life is, and it's beyond anyone's control. Saban didn't do anything wrong. He didn't screw over LSU in the least bit. He is not at all acknowledged at LSU. He built the foundation that Ogeron almost wrecked, that Kelly's bringing back, that Miles enjoyed. He brought LSU to where it has been, like one of the greatest outside of Alabama. It's like Ohio State. for the last 20 years. One of the top few programs in college football the last couple of decades. Saban's the first mover on that. He built the foundation. He's not even recognized, and he's hated. He's hated because he's not at LSU anymore. When Sean Payton takes another NFL job, there is going to be this boil over of hatred. You know, it's funny, the animosity Saints fans had for a while towards Jim Mora. I was there. I remember it just like you. 10 games in or whatever, coach wasn't working out. He retires, resigns, quits in the middle of the season. Folks thought he quit. He was a sellout, sold the city out, whatever. It had been a couple of years of struggling. When Jim Finks passed away, the triumvirate of Jim Miller, Bill Kuaric, Jim Mora wasn't working. The buck stops with Mora didn't work like it works with like a Parcells or a Sean Payton. Mora needed a Jim Finks, a general manager. Fans freaked out at Mora, thought he was a big sellout. He's probably doing the team, himself a favor, just wasn't working anymore. Sean Payton kind of leaving the Saints high and dry with no quarterback. I mean, he's the quarterback guru, the offensive guru. 15 years, didn't develop a single quarterback that played outside of the Saints organization. If he was the guru, you think they'd be like, boy, there are 3 or 4 starters in the NFL that were drafted or brought in by the Saints, and Sean Payton developed them, and they're starting for other NFL teams. There's none of that, and there's no quarterback on the roster. And as soon as the Hall of Famer retires, Sean Payton leaves New Orleans and says, yeah, I needed a break. I'm burned out, needed a break. Nonsense. The minute he left the Jim Finks facility on Jim Mora Drive over there, on Airline Highway, the Saints facility, he was already talking about the next NFL gig, literally. We're like a couple of games into the NFL season. Sean Payton's been on doing his TV gig like 3, 4, 5 times tops, already talking about the next NFL gig. There's no burned out or needed a break. That is 110% BS. He took a break when he sat out one season for the Bounty Gate. Too harsh a penalty or not, whole other show you can argue, but he sat out a season, coached his kids in Dallas. Needed a break, really? Got a break he didn't want, but is burned out? That is total BS. It's all something personal. I mean, I think, honestly, like wife from West Virginia living in uptown New Orleans. I mean, that's that could have been, forget about Edwin Edwards and his wife, and that could have been a reality show. Skyleen is her name. I'm not dogging her. Her name's Skyleen. She's from West Virginia state with no cities, bunch of towns. West Virginia, like more backwards than most of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, you know? And I'm not dogging her personally. I'm just saying that type of girl, like a country girl from West Virginia, and a beauty queen, lives uptown on Jefferson Avenue in a big, mansion, and is associating with uptown New Orleans women. That's oil and water. There's no connection there. There's nothing Skyleen from West Virginia has in common in the least bit, any kind of a connection at all with uptown New Orleans women. Zero. None. I'm just giving you an example. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying that's it. I'm just saying there are things that no one talks about or thinks about. And just like Payton was burned out, was tired of whatever, that's just a bunch of crap, a bunch of BS. As much of BS as Payton selling Taysom Hill's the next quarterback. The quarterback's already in the building, blah, blah, blah. I mean, total insanity, craziness. One of the toughest positions to play in all of sports, NFL starting quarterback. There are 32 teams, and there aren't even 32 starters. Not high-quality guys you can hook your wagon to. How many are there that you can win with a Super Bowl? 15, 18, 20 tops? The bottom third of the NFL cannot win with that quarterback. So there's like 20 guys on planet Earth that are winning NFL quarterbacks. There's like a half dozen, maybe 8 that are elite, like Pat Mahomes, like Drew Brees was. Taysom Hill's going to be the next Saints quarterback. I mean, it's beyond crazy. And what's worse is local sports media, hook, line, and sinker bought into it. Totally nuts. Not one person saying, no, I don't know. It's like this Saints team with Dennis Allen, first-year head coach. Quarterback situation uncertain. 25 media members asked to pick the Saints record. Not a single one picked a losing record. Not one. The worst record, 9-8 by one media member. Most of the media members picked the Saints winning 10 or 11 games out of 17. Like, they're not only a winning team, they're a playoff team. Playoff team. The clear majority of the media, like 24 of 25, 25 of 26. No, it's just, we're a friendly little place. We want to get along with people. We don't do it sacrificing the integrity of our job to get along instead of telling the story. No, and Sean Payton ruled the media. He owned it more than Jim Finks did. I mean, selling the Taysom Hill as quarterback thing says it all. Do you even need to prove the point anymore? Sean Payton wants back in the NFL as a head coach. Been saying that since day one, the coach. Now, the Sean Payton thing's funny. The minute he left the Saints facility for good, he was already talking about his next NFL coaching job. The needed to break story is exactly that. A story. Everything he wants as a coach, he had here in New Orleans, except the next quarterback. Except the next quarterback. That's pretty much a big point. You know, it's a new NFL. Sean Payton's not going to like a team that you rebuild. He came to New Orleans because he was an assistant at Dallas and would have taken any NFL head coaching job probably. Could have been selective a little bit. He knew he was going to get a job, but it wasn't, you know, what he's doing now. Now is I've funneled it down to about 3, 4, 5 teams. Some of them have a real solid coach, so that the coach going there isn't going to happen. But there are a few teams that are in a precarious situation with their coach that have a franchise elite Drew Brees type NFL quarterback. And those are the only types of teams Sean Payton is going to. No, the needed a break is as a laugh out loud, an LOL. He sat out a year. He got a break already. There's so much more to this story. Why did Sean Payton leave the Saints? It's a mystery, and it ain't about football. And again, it's convenient when you don't have a future quarterback. That one's just a no-brainer. And when Sean Payton goes to another NFL team with an elite franchise NFL quarterback already in place, and if he wins, the city of New Orleans Saints fans are going to bail on him really quick. Really quick. I mean, Nick Saban built the LSU football foundation. Not even recognized, hated, he's the enemy. Now, I'm not dumb. Sean Payton is beloved in New Orleans. But one could easily argue he underachieved with a first ballot Hall of Fame QB who was never injured for 15 years. Horrible defenses that cost the team wins almost every year he was coach. No, when he goes back to the NFL, the city will sing a different song. No, and finally, like I said, it's a different era in the NFL. A Super Bowl winning coach with a cutting-edge offense like Sean Payton only goes to a team that has a top-flight NFL elite quarterback already in the building. Legacy, history of the franchise is meaningless to Sean Payton. It's an elite quarterback or no go. No rebuilding. It's not going to do the Saints gimmick. No shot. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. Old Single Movie Theater on Allen Toussaint Boulevard and West End. Ain't there no more. Old movie theater on Allen Toussaint Boulevard at West End. That ain't there no more. It was a single theater. Sat by itself, a single screen. Speaking of Allen Toussaint Boulevard, a few miles down the street, Allen Toussaint at Elysian Fields, there was a single theater that later put a wall down the middle, turned into a double, a little multiplex, a duplex. Name either one of those theaters that ain't there no more and get a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. I think the slot, Allen Toussaint Boulevard at West End, where the theater was, just torn down. I think just the lots there still to this day. Open space. The one at Elysian Fields in Allen Toussaint is now a Walgreens. You got answers? I got $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. What was Sugar Park in the Bywater? A park? What was Sugar Park? Give me the answer. In the Bywater. Ain't there no more. 766-9480. 766-9480. Every day, this radio television program. Also on YouTube. Live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Pretty unbelievable. The Lamarck Automotive Complex, Ronnie Lamarck just spent over $50 million. 15 plus acres. Lamarck Ford, the big store. Lamarck Lincoln, number one in the region, all brand new, state of the art. The Lamarck Automotive Complex, car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kennebra. You think that'd be enough? Ronnie Lamarck goes across the parish, and now a second Ford dealership, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood and Harahan, Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
At Helm Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our Top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
practice.
You're talking about France from which we've come.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice.
You're talking about France that has an ambassador living in the city of New Orleans.
We talking about practice.
You're talking about France.
We talking about practice.
You're talking about France.
But we talking about practice, man.
You're talking about France.
When we talking about practice, what are we talking about?
Talking about France.
Practice?
France.
Well, we talking about practice right now.
You're talking about France that has residents and artists in residence right here in the city of New Orleans, over 4 of them.
We're talking about practice.
You're talking about France.
We're talking about practice.
You're talking about France from which we've come.
But we talking about
France.
It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange to me too.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
I got a email, Corey@CoreyTalks.com. You're killing me with the Doucet pronunciation. I think that's correct. His email. I am killing you with the Doucet pronunciation. I don't like saying it that way, but I've got lulled into it over time. I always used to say Alan Toussaint. You know, I guess you can even say Alan Toussaint. But Toussaint, like the Saints, is just, I might as well say I'm in New Orleans. Anyway, Alan Toussaint was a great person from New Orleans. No, the emailer's correct. I got to stop that. Tucson. Like Tucson, Arizona. Maybe with a little D or T sound at the end. Slight, but no saint. Alan Toussaint. Toussaint does? It means All Saints Day. All Saints. Yep. Anyway, Alan Toussaint Boulevard at West End. What movie theater was there? A standalone single theater. Alan Toussaint Boulevard at Elysian Fields. It once was a single theater, then they turned it into a double. Name either one of those movie theaters. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. All right, that LSU question, the quarterback from Mississippi State that beat LSU 4 years, John Bond. The Sports Illustrated article is the name is Bond, John Bond. I wear a flak jacket. I have broken ribs, something like that. Anyway, John Bond, 80, 81, 82, 83, the Jerry Stovall era, Mississippi State 4-0. John Bond was the starting quarterback for all four of those victories, the only QB in LSU football history and college football history to beat LSU 4 times. The only QB to do it 4 times. Not Werfel, not Dak Prescott. John Bond from Mississippi State. What was another trivia question we had out there? Oh, Sugar Park. I guess I'll leave that out there for 5 more minutes. Sugar Park in the Bywater. What was it? A park or something else? Give me the answer. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 766-9480. If you know those Alan Toussaint questions, 766-9480. You'll be heading to the Woodhouse. Mayor LaToya Cantrell's nonprofits, the Mayor's Fund, the finances are on hold as the IG, requesting financial records and not receiving them, had to bring the law in, a judge. So now a official subpoena. Legally, the Mayor's Fund needs to turn over its financial records to the Inspector General. One of two things are probably pretty obvious here. One, the records are just a mess. Horrible record keeping. 2, there's probably a lot of people, on this nonprofits dole getting some cash. That would be my guess. That would be my guess why the IG had to bring in a judge, had to get a subpoena to get these records. Today, the city council asked a judge to let them, not the mayor, control the Wisner Trust. The mayor diverted over $1 million of Wisner Trust money, New Orleans citizens' taxpayer money, to her Mayor's Fund, her group of nonprofits. This is getting really interesting. Thank God for the Inspector General, because there's supposed to be transparency in government. The mayors, you ask for these records, they're supposed to be given up. Why would the mayor have to hide anything? It's a nonprofit. It's going to be for the needy. And the records are going to be impeccable because it is a nonprofit. With city funds going into these nonprofits, like Wisner tax money. So all the I's are going to be dotted and the T's crossed. Well, that's how it's supposed to be. And that's normal. You don't get a reward or a pat on the back for that. And the mayor, it's going to be the opposite. Watch. It's obvious. It's going to be the opposite. Boy, speaking, look, I'm not trying to be some jerk. I appreciate Sean Payton. I just don't love him unequivocally. Like, I'd cut off an arm for him. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. A little flaky, a little cocky and arrogant. And I love the Super Bowl win, but that's it. One NFC title victory, one Super Bowl appearance. This team arguably should have been to 2 more Super Bowls and maybe at least 1 more Super Bowl win. At the very least, another Super Bowl appearance. At the very least. You have 15 years of Drew Brees, never injured. So, Brees is the guy that's like almost perfect and great and cut your arm off for. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not a lot of baggage with Drew Brees. He's not perfect. No one is. But Sean Payton's got a lot of baggage, a lot of flakiness. Bails on New Orleans with no quarterback. And on the way out, trying to sell Taysom Hill as the future. It's a joke almost. It's laughable. And then no real criticism. But watch how that criticism is going to accelerate. And things I'm saying are going to be embraced by folks today that think I'm crazy. When Sean Payton takes that next NFL gig, which is sooner than later, I would say next year for sure, and or I say if he wins, it's going to be a snowball effect. But I think Sean Payton, love the Super Bowl win, successful Saints coach. I'm not stupid. I was here. I enjoyed it. But like, just the incredible coach, as good as it gets, is the best in the game. I would say Sean Payton, one could easily argue, underachieved. Easily argue that. 3 7-9 seasons in a row. I mean, Jeff Ireland bailed Sean Payton out the second, run of success he had. But one George Halas trophy, not 2 or 3. Only one time in 15 years can Sean Payton and Drew Brees say, we were the best team in football. And only one time could they say, we were the best team in the NFC. Only once. Every other year, they were not number one in the NFC, weren't going to a Super Bowl. I think part of a problem in New Orleans and Louisiana, I swear, we'll cling to the 2009 Super Bowl forever. Sean Payton's just a god forever. 3 straight 7-9 seasons. They got rid of Tom Coughlin with the Giants. Now, folks would go, Corey, you comparing Tom Coughlin with Sean Payton? No. Tom Coughlin's got 2 Super Bowl wins. I don't know what to tell you. No, it's big market, small market. I get it. And I'm not saying fire Sean Payton. But boy, what a difference. No one would pick Coughlin over Payton, including myself. Coughlin's got 2 Super Bowl wins. Payton's got only 1. Coughlin got fired after a few losing seasons. Payton had 3 in a row, 7-9. Got $1 million raise at the end of it a year. No, when I'm hearing Sean Payton in interviews going, I want to coach again. The itch was always there. Always knew I'd be getting back into it. Want to go to a team that has great ownership and committed to winning. There's so many organizations that can't win, don't understand how to do it. Bad ownership, bad management. Don't want any part of those. You had all that in New Orleans. You were the GM, the president. The buck stopped with you. You had everything. But you couldn't develop a quarterback. There wasn't a quarterback already in the building. And 1 year without Drew Brees, barely over 500. You went 1 over 500, no playoffs. You bailed. Now, I would think compared to Jim Mora leaving the Saints or Nick Saban leaving LSU, Sean Payton leaves in the worst kind of way. I was so looking forward to Sean Payton, the offensive genius, running the Saints post Drew Brees with another quarterback and developing that quarterback and that system. Saints fans, you may not agree with me at all today, but you'll be singing a different song. It's just how it works, especially when the coach goes to another NFL team and if he wins. What's that, Blue Boy? You're just a basset hound, and you clearly think Sean Payton a little overrated.
Toussaint.
Wow. Yeah. What's that, Blue Boy? You're speaking what?
Toussaint.
Wow, with a French accent. You are a basset. That makes sense. Toussaint. Corey Johnson with you. Mañana, 93.9 FM, New Orleans.
Toussaint.